안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Friday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-wa in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-festivals, K-films, K-everything. And all of that together with our Friday co-host, Bella Kim. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa. Happy Friday, Soa.
Happy Friday.
And happy Friday to everyone joining us today on the Culture Wave. I'm Bella here to co-host and fill you guys in with some exciting K-entertainment news.
Bella, remember recently we had our news features reporters, Songjin and Eunhee, report about flower festivals.
Oh, yes.
At different places of the country. Now, today we have a new face on the Culture Wave. Of course, not a new face at Arirang, but on our program.
Yes.
And we're actually going to go to a flower festival in Seoul today.
That's right. It's finally here, the iconic Yeouido Cherry Blossom Festival. And I actually saw it this morning, and it looks like it's at its peak.
Oh, well, let's just head over to our reporter who is now at the scene. So, as Bella just mentioned, the cherry blossoms seem to be in full bloom here in the capital, Seoul. It's a perfect day with temperatures in their 20s this afternoon. And our Choi Soo-hyung is standing by live to deliver us some joyful moments out there. Soo-hyung, do share some beautiful scenery out there.
Afternoon, I'm just right now standing on the Yeouido Yunjungno Road, right just nearby the National Assembly building. This place is one of the most major hotspots to sightsee and enjoy the cherry blossoms and the flowers in the capital Seoul. It's quite warm right now, and the area is much busier this afternoon, and people just hanging around and enjoy the cherry blossoms and the spring after lunch. And this year's Cherry Blossom Festival in Yeouido here started on Tuesday. According to the Seoul city government, over 1,800 cherry blossom trees are planted here. The trees are planted in a loop around the National Assembly building, starting from where I'm standing now. Also, one great thing about this place is that you can enjoy the Hangang River right next to it. Despite today being a weekday, Friday, there were many visitors around here enjoying spring.
We came here as a vacation, but we were not planning to see this beautiful blossoms that are going on right now with the beauty of spring. And so we are very grateful to be here and see the beauty of this beautiful park. It's just exploding with color, and the blossoms are absolutely stunning.
My baby just turned 1, so this is the first time seeing flowers like this. It was really fun and joyful. My baby really loved it too.
Actually, this is my first time coming to the Yeouido Cherry Blossom Festival. It's also the first time for my baby, so I'm really happy to be here. The weather is nice too, so we're enjoying the flowers a lot.
Facilities such as shelters for light picnics, photo zones, and temporary health centers have been set up for the festival to provide convenience and rest spaces for visitors. The festival also has a special barrier-free tour program for people who are blind. In this program, they can walk around Yeouido Park with a guide, touch the flowers to feel them, and enjoy street performances by listening to the sound. For those who want to know the best spots to enjoy this stunning view, use Exit 1 of National Assembly Station on Subway Line number 9 or Exit 2 of Yeouinaru Station on Line number 5.
Wow, it looks like such a stunning view, and the weather looks great over there. And thank you so much for those valuable information as well.
Right, and also, Soo-hyung, I hear the festival was delayed a bit. We talked about that last week, and some traffic restrictions have been extended in consideration of the crowds seeking to indulge in this year's cherry blossoms. So could you tell us more about that?
Yes, that's right. Actually, it was supposed to start on April 4th last Friday, but it was delayed due to the verdict day for former President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial. Because of that, the festival will continue until Saturday, April 12th. The people can enjoy the cherry blossoms until the weekend. To run the festival, some parts of the road behind the National Assembly have been closed. The Yeongdeung-pogu office announced that even though the festival will end on the 12th, traffic restrictions will stay in place until Sunday, the 13th. Strong winds and sudden rain are forecast over the weekend, but since the festival is still going on, it's not too late to enjoy the cherry blossoms and spring.
Right.
That's all I have for now. I will cover for more in later news.
All right. Thank you very much, Soo-young. And I think because of the mild weather, the night view of the flowers will be worth watching as well.
Definitely. And before it gets rainy on the weekend, make sure to check it out.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Soo-young, for your coverage today. And now time for our daily dose of K-entertainment news, of course, with Bella Kim. Bella, nothing can stop idol boy group BTS from reaching new milestones.
Right.
What's the latest?
Well, BTS have added another streaming milestone to their name. According to Spotify's latest chart update, BTS's hit track Idol has officially surpassed 500 million streams. It's the group's 15th song to cross this 500 million stream mark on Spotify. Idol was released back in August of 2018 as a title track of the repackaged album Love Yourself, 겨울 Answer. And it's a song with global sounds as it blends with South African dance rhythms with traditional Korean musical elements as well. And upon its release, the song achieved major chart success, landing at number 11 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and number 21 on the UK official singles charts. And in 2022, it also earned a platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of Japan in the streaming category.
Everyone's idol indeed.
Yes.
Now for our second story, Bella, it's on a Korean film set to influence global viewers.
That is right. So Lobby, released earlier this month in Korea, will soon hit theaters in overseas countries, including Vietnam, Australia, Japan, and Hong Kong. According to its distributor, Showbox, the film has been confirmed its premiere in Vietnam on April 18th, and in Australia and New Zealand on the 24th. And it will continue its release in Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and other places around the world. Lobby tells the story of a startup CEO, Chang-uk, played by Ha Jung-woo, who only knows research but turns to lobbying on the golf course in order to secure a 4 trillion won national project. It sounds pretty serious just by listening to the summary, but it's actually a comedy film. And what's also very notable is that this film is Ha Jung-woo's third film as a director as well, so directing and acting at the same time. So if you're, a fan of Ha Jung-woo or just wants to have some laugh, make sure to check it out when it comes to your area.
Right, the title Lobby, it just makes it sound as if it's a serious one, but just by watching the trailer, I guess you could see that it is a comedy.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Bella, for that. Actually, we have one more story to talk about.
Not yet.
And this time it is about people who want to watch a Korean drama in their living rooms, and also for global viewers now.
That is correct. Netflix has dropped the official trailer for upcoming drama series Weak Hero Class 2, starring Park Ji-hoon, Ryo-eun, and Choi Min-young, based on a popular webtoon of the same name. Weak Hero Class 2 follows a story of Yeon Si-eun, a model student, who transfers to Eunjang High School, carrying out trauma of failing to protect a friend from violence. Determined not to lose another friend, he faces even greater challenges in a gripping tale of survival and growth. And the first season, Weak Hero Class 1, was initially released on Wave in 2022, but was re-released on Netflix last month. And upon its release on Netflix, it received tremendous love as it made onto the top 10 in over 70 countries and also stayed in the top 10 non-English show category for 2 consecutive weeks. And with the first season success now, the anticipation for its sequel is growing bigger and bigger. So Weak Hero Class 2 will be available worldwide on Netflix on April 25th.
I should binge watch on the first season before I watch the second one. Well, thank you very much, Bella, for your updates, and stick around.
Will do.
And we now have our AI anchor, Ari, on standby for other culture-related news. Ari?
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. 2 pivotal chapters of Korea's modern history have been officially recognized by UNESCO. The Jeju April 3rd archives and post-war forest rehabilitation records have been added to the list of UNESCO's Memory of the World. The decision was made during UNESCO's Executive Board meeting in Paris on Friday local time. The Jeju April 3rd archives comprise more than 14,600 documents chronicling the thousands of civilians killed during the Jeju Uprising, which began in 1948. The collection also includes records of the subsequent efforts for truth-finding and reconciliation. UNESCO recognized the archives for their historical value, authenticity, and universal significance. Also inscribed were Korea's forest rehabilitation records, a collection of over 9,600 materials including official documents, photographs, and public campaign materials from the post-Korean War era, often referred to as Korea's Green Revolution. The nationwide reforestation movement played a critical role in rebuilding the country from the devastation of war. With these additions, Korea now holds 20 entries on the UNESCO Memory of the World Register. The number of visitors to Cheongwade, the former presidential compound, spiked sharply after President Yoon Suk-yeol was dismissed. According to the Cheongwade Foundation, more than 16,000 people visited the site over the weekend following the Constitutional Court's impeachment ruling, up by over 5,200 compared to the previous weekend. A foundation official noted that the surge represents more than a threefold jump from the usual daily average. President Yoon relocated the presidential office to Yongsan in May 2022, and Cheongwade was open to the public for the first time on his inauguration day, with speculation mounting that the next administration could return to the Blue House. Visitor numbers are expected to remain high in the coming weeks. Since its public opening, Cheongwade has steadily evolved into a major cultural and arts venue, attracting over 7 million visitors to date. An exhibition celebrating the artistic legacy of Yeouido, a renowned Buddhist monk painter of the late Joseon dynasty, has opened ahead of Buddha's birthday, showcasing 47 works, including 3 national treasures. It underscores the historical and artistic significance of Yeouido's contributions to Buddhist art. Among the highlights is the Yongsan Sangdo from Haeinsa Temple, painted in 1729, designated a national treasure. The painting depicts Shakyamuni Buddha delivering a sermon, which serves as a key reference in the study of late Joseon Buddhist painting. Active from the early to mid-18th century, Yeouido is believed to have produced Buddhist artworks at temples across Korea for over 4 decades. The exhibition runs through June 29th at the Central Buddhist Museum of the Jogyo Order, with select works, including the Yongsan Sangdo, on view until April 22nd. That's all from me. Keep it tuned to the Culture Wave.
As Korean movies are receiving increased recognition worldwide, the interest in studying film in Korea has gone up as well, not just among domestic students, but also exchange students from abroad. Today, we want to delve into Korea's film departments and their curriculum with our movie expert, Jae So, professor and filmmaker at Seoul Institute of the Arts. So welcome back, Professor So.
Nice to be
Professor.
Well, this is a topic that came up as an idea during one of our off-the-record talks, so very excited about it. So Professor So, as a professor teaching in the film department at Seoul Institute of the Arts, you are seeing the interest of students grow, and how has it been lately?
Well, 2025, for example, the admissions enrollment has been the highest. And I'm surprised because Korea is famous for the population decline. And so there's supposed to be less students, but we are getting more students than ever. And not only just domestic students, as you mentioned, but international students as well. So Seoul Institute of the Arts is founded in 1962, and it was actually located in Seoul at one point. But basically, it's like a college that has 15 art departments, among film is one of them. And they offer an associate degree and a BFA and a master's degree. But it seems like the 4 departments that are in demand is, number one is acting, because we're really famous for people like Chun Do-yeon, Hwang Jung-min, And then the second one is applied music. And that one, we have basically, people know K-pop, but behind K-pop, all the musicians, the session players are graduates from our school, and also graduates of Berkeley in the US. And then there's creative writing, which is famous novelists. At one point, the Nobel laureate Han Gang was a professor at our university, and then film department, which is number 4. So we're just getting everybody just interested in doing it. And I think this phenomenon is because of K-pop, K-drama, K-movies happening around the world. And I think one of the unique things about Seoul Institute of the Arts is that it has professors that are like me, they're artists as well as teachers. So a lot of students come in, they're able to sort of learn the craft, and then they go into the industry of their choice to work. So I think a lot of students are really finding that to be what they want to do, pursuing a dream type of thing. And now I have students from all over the world.
Wow. I'd love to enroll as well if I'm not too old.
It's never too old to study for anything.
Okay,
but
I'll consider it.
As you briefly mentioned, it's not only students domestically, but students from abroad are pursuing into film education in Korea. Why do you think that is so? And if yes, which country does most of the students come from?
I heard last year it was close to 200,000 students all over Korea that are from international sort of sources. But I think the biggest countries, of course, China. So there are a lot of Chinese. But right now at Seoul Arts, we call it Seoul Arts. I have students from everywhere from Japan. I have a student from Spain, also Vietnam, Iran. So it's just a gamut of just all over the world. And when I first met these students, I would ask them, because one of the things is, we're now starting an English language program at Seoul Institute of the Arts, but they have to learn the Korean language to actually enroll and take part in the education. So what I find that most of these students are super smart. Not only do they have to sort of learn Korean language to understand, but they're also very well versed in English. But all of them are here because of the Korean wave and Korean, like basic movies like Parasite. They all want to learn basically how Korean movies are made. And so, there are many universities now offering courses in cinema and filmmaking that are now finding that, for example, Chungang University or Dongguk University, there's over 30% of their students in the arts are, from basically international sources. So China being the biggest for now. But we also have students from the United States, Europe as well.
All over the world.
Yes.
Very diverse. And Professor Soo, you just mentioned Parasite, but also Parasite and Netflix's Squid Game. I think those are the representative K-contents that have raised the status of Korean contents out there in the world. So do you think that these global successes have really affected the enrollment into film departments here in Korea?
Oh, definitely. Those actually Squid Game, I think people think of that as a series, but it was directed by a film director. Hwang Dong-hyuk's a filmmaker. So we've had that. But basically, as I mentioned, the schools like Chungang University, Dongguk University, also the Korea University of the Arts, which is K-Arts. All of them are now finding many students, flocking to come because of basically what they've seen on things like Netflix, big hits all around the world, and they want to learn. Basically, they're really attracted to not only Korean content, but Korean culture as well. So what I find when I meet these students, that they're really well versed in Korean food, Korean language. So they seem to be sort of crazy about everything Korean. So I think that's sort of the attractiveness that I think before. It didn't really happen, so we had maybe a few foreign students once in a while, but now, the sort of the admissions is becoming more competitive more than ever.
There is definitely a growing number of students abroad enrolling in this film education in Korea. Now, what do you think sets apart, or what's something unique about film education in Korea compared to film education abroad? And what are some of the things that international students especially particularly enjoy at the film education in Korea?
Well, this is the irony. For example, a lot of the professors at these universities, like Seoul, Institute of the Arts, they are professors that studied in Europe and America. So I went to UCLA Film School. And so when I first came back, I was sort of, everything I learned basically near Hollywood. So I was sort of teaching the sort of the American way of making movies. But I also found that after a while, I was kind of transforming my teaching because I also had to sort of customize it to, the movie industry in Korea is really different. So for example, cinematography in America, there's a director of photography who is in charge of everything. In Korea, it's split between camera and lighting, for example. So I started to adjust, and also, Seoul Institute of the Arts is sort of about globalization of Korean arts. And that sort of seeped into sort of my teaching as well. And so after a while, I was using, for example, a lot of Hollywood movies to show students. And now I think most of the movies that I use are either from Korea, Japan, or Asia. So, gradually my teaching sort of transformed. So it's a combination of, I think, Western views on art and then very Korean views. And now it seems like with the Korean wave, Hallyu happening, everybody wants a piece of that. Yeah.
So what was your favorite part about teaching students from abroad?
Well, I think back to, I teach at Dongguk University, the international program there, International Summer School. And I've taught over a decade. And I remember about 7 years ago, I was introduced to the topic of my class about Korean cinema. And I was showing this movie called Memories of Murder. And then I said the director of this movie is going to one day work in Hollywood and is going to win the Oscar. And I kind of said it as a joke. But then Bong Joon-ho really won the Oscar with Parasite, and now he's making movies in Hollywood. So, I mean, those are kind of interesting things where I've always found Korean cinema to be one of the most unique filmmaking around the world. Basically, the Korean people have the sense of Han, which is a lot of suffering and post-colonial things, and that transfers into the movies. And so the movies are sometimes violent, it's extreme in some ways, but I think it's something that I've always been, when I looked at Korean cinema, it was different from any other cinema that I've seen. And now it was kind of a niche thing when I first taught it, but now it seems like mainstream. Everybody wants to, everybody, for example, when I first taught the class, nobody knew Korean cinema. Now, when I teach the class, everybody's seen Parasite, Train to Busan. They know about Korean cinema, like basically it's, their childhood movies. So that's the biggest change. So for me, just watching, something that I've been teaching become sort of mainstream has been kind of surreal.
It's really interesting how you just brought up also the term Han, because it's kind of an emotion that shows grievance, sorrow, and it's a very Korean emotion that's difficult to explain. But if we have these elements in Korean movies, then maybe later in years to come, people abroad will just know what that means through these K-contents, right?
Right, definitely. And Professor, we touched upon several times with you, but the movie industry is facing some challenges lately. But there are more and more students enrolling in this film education. Why do you think that is happening?
And that's the irony, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
And the funny thing is, you would think the students don't know about that situation, about the movie industry, because everything's on, the OTT platforms. But at the same time, when I meet them, they know that the film industry right now, a lot of people aren't going to movie theaters, and yet they want to do this. And I think that's kind of the brave thing about people pursuing their dreams. They're not going to be sort of dissuaded by the sort of the state of a film industry that was once really vibrant. I think their hope is that because they're going to approach filmmaking from a new perspective, they're going to be the new wave of Korean filmmakers that'll kind of bring the audiences back. That's their, incredible hope, and I'm really sort of like behind them, cheering them on. But at the same time, it's very dire, the movie industry, and I think what's happened is since COVID, a lot of it has shifted to streaming platforms. So a lot of people that worked in the film industry are now working for Netflix or Disney Plus or, Coupon Play, or any of the sort of like OTT platforms. So what's kind of cool about it is that before in Korea, the broadcasting side and the film side were really kind of, there was a big wall between it. Now equipment, the crews are sort of like shifting back and forth between the two media. So I think the students, I think the future lies in sort of finding a new kind of a paradigm for entertainment itself, instead of just going to a movie theater or watching it on your streaming service. I think there's got to be some sort of symbiotic situation where the streamers maybe are operating the theaters as well. So there's got to be some sort of situation where both of those industries could, be sort of back to levels before COVID.
And on that note, Professor Sewell, what direction do you think should the film and the content industry move? What direction should the education move from here on?
Well, education is going to be always there. There's always a need for people to learn how to make movies and make content. Also, it's about storytelling as well, so we really teach that. But at the same time, I'm a little bit kind of sad and a little bit, worried because of sort of the introduction of all these streaming platforms. What it really killed was sort of the natural habitat of Korean industry, which we had a very vibrant independent cinema going, where a lot of people were making movies that were low budget with interesting ideas, but that industry is kind of dead because it's hard to show those movies in theaters and on platforms. But I think the students really want that because it's a way you could kind of like show off your work, showcase it before you become sort of mainstream. But I'm hoping that right now all the really famous directors and producers are the ones working, but the next generation of Bong Joon-ho's or Park Chan-wook's, I hope they get a chance to do it. And I think the way it's going to happen is we have to kind of change the industry. Also, we need new types of stories than the ones that are coming out. So I'm hoping that with the interest in film and entertainment all over the world with Korean education, that the industry itself could transform through sort of the youth coming through as a new wave for that.
Let's hope for that to come true. And thank you very much, Professor Sewell, for your insights and also for contributing to high quality film education here in Korea. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, for your contribution to the Culture Wave this week. And we'll see you back next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Week Wave, that is. Have a pleasant weekend. And please join us again next week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Korea time.